I'm the winemaker of these wines, and I'm also the viticulturalist of the vineyard. So here we get to do a little bit of everything. I get to travel to and sell the wines, which is the hardest, if you ask me. You know, I was just out in the field tasting some grapes because we do here everything by taste. Huh? We don't measure bricks or acidity. We just, according to how the berries taste, we decide when to pick the grapes. We have roughly 16 hectares of Sauvignon Blanc, and out of those 16 we make 4 different Sauvignon Blancs. So we have to be very conscious when we make the wines in terms of picking dates. We planted the Sauvignon Blanc in different areas, so we have different exposures to the sun. We have different soil types of the Sauvignon Blanc, so all of the 4 Sauvignon Blancs that we make, they are very different. Okay? We have different clones as well. Some vines with rootstocks, without rootstocks. It's not too hard to make these Sauvignon Blancs, because if you just taste the grapes, you see straight away that there's a big difference without the intervention of the winemaking practice. With the winemaking practice, there's also little things that we do differently according to the different Sauvignon Blancs. So for instance, this Sauvignon Blanc that you're tasting is, I would say that is our flagship of all of our varieties that we have, because it is the one that has won more awards than any other wine that we have. It's the fruits, it's the best fruit that we have. It's all hillsides under calcareous soils, okay, chalk. It's not very common to see that soil here in the coast. Normally in the coast of Chile you see more granite. So it's very special. And the yield that we have on this wine, it goes from 4 to 5 tons per hectare. Okay? So if you look at the canopy, it's very light, it's very low in vigor for most viticulturalist people. For me it's in balance, you know, because you can really see through the vine. So there's a lot of space for the air to flow and for the sunlight to reach to the bunches.
So for the people who are used to hectares, hectoliters instead of tons?
Hectoliters, from 1 hectare we produce roughly about 2,000 plus 3,000 bottles for 1 hectare.
1,500 bottles per acre.
Yes. So
That's very little.
Very, very little.
Yeah, it's very low. It's very low. It's very low.
Which is exceptional, in particular for Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes, Sauvignon Blanc normally yields more and normally it's high in vigor. But what we have here, the conditions that we have here are very unusual. We have been named as the most radical vineyard by international magazines, not by Chile magazine. So we really have this climate. You know, today I think we're very lucky. We have fog. You know, fog is what we have all the time, pretty much. So low temperatures. I would say the average in January and February it's about 14.5, 14.7. That's the average. So the only variety that we struggle to get it ripe as we really want to is the Syrah, because the Syrah is for more of a warmer climate than this. So our Syrah, it's about 12% alcohol and harvested in May. So it's
May.
in May. So we try to get the most out of it, but it's what we get. So that's why I think that for the other varieties it's very special. It's very good. Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Sauvignon Blanc. I think it's proven to perform really, really. So back to this wine. I already mentioned the low yields. Then all this wine is treated as a noble grape. So we we do some, we select this fruit. We take out the leaves, the rot, everything that is not looking good. Normally, the Sauvignon Blanc, you know, in the new world, it's treated, you know, whether you harvest it by hand or by machine. Normally, you don't select the Sauvignon Blanc. You just send it straight to the crusher, and then the whole process. But we do that. We take our time to select the grapes. Then we do a maceration, cold maceration, and this is about 24 hours. And then we do a very, yes?
You do a cold maceration with the skin?
With the skin.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's interesting because it's unusual.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there are names that we call it skin contact. Yeah. So you later on you're gonna see the cellar, and you see that we have the bats, stainless steel bats with the jackets. You know, we have all the tools to make a good wine, even though we're small. But yes, and then we do use commercial yeast for this Sauvignon Blanc. We use 3 different strains of yeast. The idea is not to have a Sauvignon Blanc that is one-dimensional. You know, the idea is to have a Sauvignon Blanc that after a couple of minutes it can show other aromas, and you know, it can develop. Normally, I ferment this at a low temperature between 9 and 11 degrees Celsius. Okay?
Very low.
Very low.
Nice.
Very low.
Yeah.
The idea is to retain as much as possible the aromas, not to lose much. It takes about 4 weeks to finish the fermentation.
Isn't it difficult to get the fermentation
Yeah.
going and finishing at that temperature?
Then it's no problem as long as you choose the right yeast.
Okay.
And there's some yeast that are more tolerant to temperature than others.
Do you ever get a step fermentation?
Not with the whites, never. I had some issues long time ago with spontaneous fermentation. So we do that a lot with our Pinot.
Oh.
But because we're on the daily basis, I'm there all the time, I can act very quickly, and you know, we can do things. But for this wine, no, it's just a low temperature with commercial yeast, and then we, you know, when the fermentation is complete, we rack the wine off the lees, and we keep the fine lees, you know, the fine lees, I keep it with the wine for several months.
Oh wow.
Several months. So the idea is to get the texture and the mouthfeel from those fine leaves that the wine is aging with. You know, on previous years, I always add a percentage of barrel into this Sauvignon Blanc blend, but this 2016 it has no barrel. No barrel. But normally I always add 4%, 5%. Not to get the taste or the aromas of the barrel, but it's just to shape a little bit more the wine. But we found that in this 2016 it didn't need that, so that's why it doesn't have the barrel. We don't have protocols here. We always like to harvest some grapes, some Sauvignon Blanc that are very green, and then we also like to harvest some that are over mature. Not over mature, but with high maturity level, therefore more alcohol. And the bigger volume is the one that we feel that is the perfect, you know. So why we do this? Because in all the blends, in the 4 Sauvignon Blancs that we have, maybe in one of them I feel that we miss or we don't have enough acidity. So then I go ahead and take some of the Sauvignon Blanc that we harvested very green, you know, and add it to the blend instead of adding tartaric acid. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same way around. If you know, I would think that we need more texture in the Sauvignon Blanc or more mouthfeel, then I take some of the Sauvignon Blancs that is more ripe, instead of adding Gamma Arabic or many of the other products that you can find nowadays for the winemaking process. But yeah, so that's the story about the Sauvignon Blanc. I think what we look is elegance above anything else. You know, to have a wine that is very much in balance. We always need to have that length, you know, of this wine in the palate. We want to taste a little bit the minerality, that saltiness sometimes that you can taste in this wine. Very important for us. More than the aroma that is right in your face, not really. The idea is to have, like I said, more finesse product.